Good old
Yeah.
stairs. Speaking of stairs, Sam, you just had to walk down some, and you find yourself back in the dungeon. Well, not back in the dungeon. You're in the dungeon. I'm not sure exactly how you knew how to get to the dungeon, but Sam just knew how to get to the dungeon, and you're here. It's a
She can smell
dank,
blood.
yeah, it's a dank place. It's got about 8 cells, 4 on each side. At the far end of the room, there's a smaller room. You can see some implements of tools and maybe some torture devices just from the doorway, but it's the sound coming from that room. Uh, the sound of knife cutting through flesh. It's a familiar sound, but it definitely catches your attention.
Seems he's got a previous engagement. Well then, I'll let him finish up there. In the meantime, she's gonna start heading towards the cells.
Right. So you kind of pass through them. The first two locked up, closed tight. Next two locked up, closed tight. Get to the third area, and the one on your left, the door is still open. There's no one in it. Catches your eye. Look past to the far two, the ones at the very end. You can see that there's a figure, a woman, that is sitting, kind of her back up against the wall, her knees up, her chin kind of on her face, her hair's drawn down over her face. Looks like she's kind of just resting or just sitting there.
Sam's just gonna walk over there, casually. Her mask is off at this point. She took it off on her way down. And just kind of flips her hair and says, "Sup?"
Larissa looks up. She doesn't recognize you. Hello?
What's your name?
She kind of drops her legs down a little bit. You can see that she has no right hand. She has a series of colorful hair ties wrapped around the stump of her hand. She tries to keep her curly brown hair in a ponytail, but all just fizzles out of it. She's wearing kind of an orange windbreaker. Larissa?
Larissa, huh? What brought you down here?
I killed the wrong person. Or
It
maybe the
always
right
sucks
person.
when you hit the wrong one.
I killed someone. That's all. Who are you?
Me? You can call me Sam. Listen, there's a bit of a shit show going on up top. Don't know if you know, but I'm looking into a few things. And I was wondering if you might be able to give me a hand. I have little bit of a reach starting here. Probably put in a good word for you. Get you out of here a little bit sooner.
She takes the give you a little hand comment. She looks at her missing hand and back to
Sam
you.
doesn't even flinch.
Right.
Does not even flinch. She knows what she said.
What's going on out there? I've been down here for a couple days. I don't know anything.
Some children have gone. And she kind of makes the motion with her hand. Up in smoke. Gone. Vanished. The supposed person who made them disappear was someone who came in here just the other night. Little Medica. Sure you've probably seen him if you've been here a few times. But she just kind of eyes the stump there. It's like, probably had him take care of that. At least a few times.
She kind of looks. She looks at the markings on your face. You can tell there's a moment. She's like, what does this mean? Yeah, that weird fuck was here. What did he do now?
Weird, you say?
Yeah,
How
he
weird we talking?
walk down here and put yourself in a jail cell and lock it up all by yourself?
Interesting. He locked it himself, you say?
Well, you closed the door. I mean, they're already locked.
Good to know. Did he do anything after that? You know, aside from probably getting his shit kicked in by whoever runs this place after they found him inside their cell?
She stands up to kind of put her back against the wall. I mean, he talked. This morning, a few of the guards came, took him out of the cell, and that was it. I mean, he was only here for maybe 10 or so hours. I don't know. I slept for most of it.
Which cell did he go in? Do you remember?
She points to the one that was still open, back behind you.
Let's see. Didn't do anything else after he locked himself away? Just kind of sat there?
Like I said, just talked, but I went to sleep. There's enough drunks to get put in here. It's not unusual to hear people talking to themselves, and to be honest, it's kind of nice to be inside somewhere warm for a bit.
I bet with how fucking cold it can get up here. You didn't happen to manage to catch any of his drunken ramblings, did you?
I mean, honestly, anything you said, I've already talked to Lark about. Do you know Lark?
Yeah, I know Lark.
Right. No, he already knows what's going on there. He's gonna help me get out of here. I don't know. Maybe he can help you. He's actually out there. There's a situation going on. There's more of us. We've got a pretty good.
She slightly cringes at the "more of us" line, like, ugh, great. Well, that's probably all I'll be able to get out of here. I'll let Lark know that I talked to you as well, and put in a little bit of a word for you for a little bit higher, just in case Lark's word isn't quite strong enough to get you out of here scot-free.
She nods. You talking about that Medicaid asshole, that weird fuck?
Damn straight I am.
You look back, and I think it's probably Larissa's gag that catches the attention before his voice. And you look back to see this very fat, mutilated, pierced individual still bleeding heavily from these gashes that he has carved out of his stomach. He's just leaning on the doorway as blood kind of rushes down. You even think you see a bit of the muscle has been purposely pulled forth. Just kind of leans there looking at you. Almost a bit dizzy from blood loss, but purposeful.
She just kind of looks him up and down. Had a good time?
Job needed doing, and it got done. You want to know more about that black-eyed motherfucker? You come talk to me.
Well, I
Turns
didn't want to
walk into the
intrude.
office.
I'll be right there then. She stands up and just kind of nods towards Larissa inside the And just before she starts heading up, she's gonna walk across to the open cell. Just kind of give it over. See if there's any possible signs of what he might have done in some crazy ass bullshit.
Yeah,
She don't know what kind of crazy could come out of this guy. He might have carved some weird shit into the walls. He might have written something in blood. She don't fucking know. This guy was just weird as hell.
right. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like he did anything. There's no sign of him. There might be like a, you know, a bathroom pot that still hasn't been emptied, kind of in the back corner. But other than that, you're not seeing any signs. No scrying on the wall or anything like that.
Alright. That'll probably do for this part, so I'll just head on back to eat that fat fuck.
Right. You walk in and there's a bench and he's got a fairly large chair. It looks like he probably dragged it down from somewhere else in the castle into his little office here. There's all types of tools in here. A lot of them, they don't look like the stuff you used. It looks like he has found implements within the dungeon that was already here. Things that may have been on display that he cracked a few cases to get. There's definitely medieval type artifacts in here, but he's not worried about that. He's gone over to his various vials and things, and he begins to pour something on his wounds, and the smell is familiar to you. He is pouring gunpowder onto his stomach.
My. Afraid you run across that.
I have my resources. So he lights a match. You hear him kind of hiss a little bit. What do you want to know about that weird fuck?
Well, Manson herself probably already knows the shit that's going down. And she's gonna take a seat on the bench, casually, cross her legs. I just want to know what that weird fuck did. Why? What did he do? Did he just come down here, walk right by you, and slam the cell, sit and cry in a corner?
He brought himself here like a good little boy. That is very true. What he did, well, I can tell you what he was. What he did is still unclear. The Emperor will decide that. That is his job.
Yes, of course.
Oh, he's one of them. Well, the Emperor's calling them black eyes. Yeah, these individuals that their eyes just flow like the dark of the night. They talk in this voice that is not theirs. They ramble on about prophets and prophecies and destinies and just utter madness. It's a condition that the Emperor has found throughout a few of his men and has tasked him to come down and visit with me, see if I can't draw these demons from their filthy souls.
I know someone you can try that on next time. She kind of rolls her eyes a little bit. So, he came in with this black eyes bullcrap.
He came in here saying this is his place, this is his purpose, and he was talking to that girl all night, talking about this new prophet that everybody should be scared. There's a new one in town. I'm done with all this. Him, the preacher, this new prophet, all them can just burn in a fire and get the hell out of this place. We don't need them here.
That I can agree. So,
who is you, anyways? I've never seen you around here before. Came around asking lots of questions.
I come around. I ask questions. I get shit done. For example, I don't know your name. You don't know mine. But we both give answers. We both give questions, huh? So let's just leave it at that for now. After all, I'm not here to cause no trouble.
Hey, if you're here to take care of this issue, I know that's fine with me, and I know the Emperor would be, he would be quite happy with that as well. He is sick and tired of all these weird fucks coming in here and doing all their weird shit, making everything just go crazy. We need order in this place. That's why he keeps me down here. He doesn't want me walking around scaring all the children. He keeps the monster in the basement. All these monsters get to walk around free. It's just not fair.
Well, they'll get brought down, just like any other virtual beast, one way or another. And she's gonna reach into one of her pouches and slowly pull out a small little baggie, just a small one, and lightly set it on right in front of him, and just kind of leave it there for a second, and go. So that's really about it. Really, I do thank you for your time. And good to know that at least some people here still have their senses about them and aren't brainwashed by those churchgoers up top.
No, they're getting their fingers far too wide. I be telling the Emperor he needs to stay clear of all them folk. They taint everything they touch. Isn't that right, little girl? That's right. Yeah, that one there. That's one of his. One of that preacher man. Down
Lark.
Here. Yeah, that's the one. That fuck.
I'm well acquainted with him. And she just kind of brushes her hair aside at that. Alright, well, I best be heading off then. You've given me as much as I could possibly ask for right now. Might as well go talk to that crazy fuck, and I'm thinking the church might have some things to tell me about. Might be interesting at least.
Yeah, say, what's this all about anyways? Why are you asking about that about the Medicaid?
Oh, and she starts walking towards the door. Some children disappeared that he was fucking with.
Of course.
The kitties that you aren't supposed to scare, he's made disappear.
He would.
Who knows? Maybe they'll let you out.
Alright, well, you find them. You bring them back down here. I wanna tear them demons out, let me tell you what. And I will. I'll set them free.
I'm sure you will. I guess I'll see you at the War Council then. And she just slowly turns and smiles.
Oh, I stay down here. Again, you know, the Emperor has his wishes, and I do what I can to obey. He's told me to stay down here, stay put, and when he needs me, he will come to me. So I do hope to see you again soon. But if you need me, I will be here.
I might have use for those things on the wall, that's for sure. Oh, and she's gonna now finally point at the baggie. You might find that has a bit more kick to it than the glorious gunpowder you have.
You know,
and if you were look inside of it, it'll actually be a little mixture of her own drug.
Right, that blue stuff?
Yep, that blue stuff.
Alright, I feel like we might have to work together on a custom move for that drug, too.
Yep.
See what kind of fun things can happen there.
Yep. But for now, I'm just gonna take my leave off of that.
Right.
Now I have someone else to find. Time to find the Shadow Man and get some answers.
So you walk by Larissa. She just kind of leans forward on the bars. From the mouths of babes.
Babes do cry the loudest, don't they? Just starts to keep walking.
Right. So, as...
She's already fucked with weird shit. Right. And if someone starts acting out of character, she is not fucking with that. Last time she did, spiders got off. Blue spiders
Blue
crawled
spiders,
out.
man.
No.
Yeah. No.
Fuck that.
No shadow dancing tonight.
Nope.
No. So as Sam begins to make her way towards the church, Dusk, you were gonna try to find a way to listen in or watch, keep an eye on Shazza and Lark as they have walked into the little freezer compartment where he does his, he starts prepping the meat for his father. So, I guess give me an idea of what that means for Dusk. The butcher shop, it's kind of towards the edge. There's a little alleyway back behind it that you're familiar with, kind of leads to a bunch of the shops. It's not all that well used, but people that work within the shops use it. It probably only stands, about 15 feet tall. It's not that tall of a building. It's broken up into two sections. So where would Dusk attempt to go to keep an eye on the situation?
I mean, they're inside the freezer, so
They haven't
if she wants
closed the
to
door.
eavesdrop,
I don't think Shazal would have closed the door behind them, unless Lark may have. But
Lark would definitely shut the door, because considering what he has been told, he is prepared for this to turn out to be something like weird,
right.
And he doesn't want interference, because that's already happened once today.
Right.
So is there like a window that's near the freezer?
No, it's closed off. The only entry is there's a door to the back that leads into the freezer, and then there's another door that leads to kind of the front shop area where his father is. But the only access point you might have is actually the exhaust on the top, the little pipe that allows the whatever they're using in here to keep it cool. So allowing a bit of that to go up and out of a pipe through the roof.
So she could probably try to listen through the pipe.
Right.
Okay. So
yeah, I mean, basically your main dangers, kind of looking over. I don't know. Do you want to read the situation and just try to figure out what your best way to influence or get into this place would be before you actually start moving?
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's probably what is the best way in.
Yeah, where's my best way in?
Right. So the main thing you're gonna have to be careful of are the guards that are kind of patrolling on this way, following your normal route of kind of going down the wall past the storage, which is still burnt down, and then you can easily get up into that tower and then jump over to the roof. You would just have to make sure you have to avoid that. They're their main danger. So following again your familiar path of going back behind houses, kind of up the tower that you're familiar with, and then just using the wall to get to the roof of that other building. It's going to be the safest way.
Okay, she will do that then.
Perfect. So go ahead and go ahead and just give me an act under fire. Take your +1 on it, as it's just a matter on if anyone happens to spot you along the way, or if you have to flinch, hesitate, or stall. No problem. Find your way up and over, and you are able to get low enough, kind of listening to the pipe, but also blending in. Your pale skin and your pale clothes kind of blend into the snow that's on the roof. And inside, Lark, Shazza has sat down on his bench. He kind of pulls over a slab of meat and just begins to slice off. It looks kind of like jerky size, like not very large chunks. He just kind of looks at you while he does it. This is awkward. Like, he has the look like many boys do when their parents walk in on them when they're not doing something they don't want their parents seeing them doing. He's definitely ashamed. Like, you're watching him in a private time, but he understands there's something here. After some awkward eye contact, he has probably about 6 or 7 slices that he picks up and brings them over. There's a small little burner, little stove that's off into the corner. Variety of salts and spices and things on there. It seems like if things needed to be prepped or actually cooked, they're probably brought back here to do so. He walks over and just turns on, probably lights the stove, maybe kicks around a bit of the wood that's in there. Can start to smell the smoke, lays out the bit of meat, and it starts to sizzle and just kind of turns back to. So what is it you're wanting? You really want to try this?
Lark, kind of just looking at it. Oh, I didn't want to try it for myself. I just simply wish to see the process, if you will. Though, if you'd be so kind, I'd love to take a few samples.
I don't know. I don't think I should.
If it makes you feel any words. If it makes you feel any better, I can arrange for some barter to make its way to the butcher shop. I'm sure a few pieces of meat.
It's not that. No, I shouldn't be doing this. No. And he goes to grab a water pail and tries to douse the flames.
Lark will get up and kind of get in his way to stop him.
Right. Go ahead and you're not attacking him.
I'm just stepping in his way.
Right.
So is that like... No, it's not a manipulation.
I think it's just
Yeah.
doing something under fire again. Like, are you going to be able to get there before
Yeah.
the fire goes out?
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, you like are able to step in and you grab his wrist before he's actually able to throw it. He, like, stops. No, I shouldn't. This is wrong. This is wrong.
I need to see what is happening here. Dusk has entrusted me to figure out exactly what has happened.
I don't even know what's happening here. I make meat. That's it.
Yet, I have heard whispers of this meat doing strange things.
But it's wrong, and I shouldn't do it.
By whose law?
I don't want blood on my hands.
So you're saying you think this meat is dangerous?
I know it's
when you make it.
dangerous. This is... It makes people... It hurts people. I know it hurts people.
But not in the same way fists or a blade do.
No.
And it's not making them ill.
No, the ones that eat it, they get... There's a reason they keep coming back. It's the others. The strangers, the ones I don't know, they're the ones getting hurt. And yes, maybe it is by blades and axes and fists and things like that. I don't know. I just know that it's happening.
When did this start happening?
when I woke up from after the incident with Dusk.
Interesting. Lark is going to read a person.
Perfect. Awesome.
Wow. I'm tempted to refresh to see, but they're different numbers every time. Wow.
Yeah.
Right. So, I have so many tabs open. I lost my basic moves for a second. All right. So, reading a person. What is Shazza really feeling?
Shame. Like, he really just feels like he shouldn't be doing this. The fact that he can, the fact that he is, the whole thing that just happened with his mom, he's feeling like a boy that is shamed.
All right. What does Shazza wish I'd do?
Oh. From what he is looking at here, though he can't say it, he really wants you to eat some of that meat.
Oh, okay. Lark's definitely going to take a note of that. How can I get Shazza to trust me in this?
Ooh, that that's a difficult one. Because you, in his mind, are attributed to some dark things of his past.
His past, interesting.
Yeah, no, what he thinks of you, like, you are a boogeyman to this boy, while but for other reasons. Yeah, basically, in order to trust you, you can't try to push the entity on him in any way. Don't bring the entity up. That would be bad news for this boy. Just leave the entity out of the room.
Okay. Lark is going to, now that he's stopped Shazza, he's going to kind of like take the water, throw it back where Shazza got it, and sit down again. And he's going to look at Shazza and just be like, Tell me about Dusk, Shazza.
What do you want to know?
When did you meet? What's your relationship?
We're friends. I don't know. I just saw her. She looked hungry. I brought her food and just kind of kept doing that. We read picture books sometimes.
But you want, do you want more out of the relationship than just friendship, Shazza?
I did, but not anymore.
And what changed?
I think it's just safer to not go there.
We do not live in a safe world, Shazza.
Yeah, but
As many times as we try to tell ourselves it can be different. Do you know what I think Lark is gonna go like delving into his past just a bit. I've been running this group, leading these people for many, many years now. Do you know why I lead these people, Shazza?
You're all driven with purpose to do what you think is right, to right the wrongs of others.
It's indeed part of it.
But how do you know what you think is right is actually right?
That is a question I struggled with for a great many years. Shazza, we've all been victims. I once lived in a place not horribly unlike the castle. It was friendly, it was much warmer than here. It was a nice life, and I was young and foolish, and I thought everything would be like that forever. But of course, that didn't happen. Others came, took what we had, burned what they couldn't. I was lost for a very long time after that. I simply wished for those that had wronged to suffer. I simply wanted revenge. What they had done, they had no right to take what was ours. But when I look back at that place I lived, we had very few fighters, many of which were primarily hunters. It didn't occur to us what dangers lurked across our borders, and because of that, we allowed ourselves to become the victims. And so many others allowed themselves to be victims. I'm showing people that there's another option. Your father, how dare he speak of his own family in that manner? And I can tell by the look on your mother's face, she has been subjected to the role of victim for a very long time, as have you. But you want things to change, correct, Shazza?
I don't. I just want I want calm. I don't want constant change. I don't want power struggles. There's always going to be another dad like my dad, or army to fight against, people to control. I just want a day where I can say I was bored and I had nothing to do. I just want calm. This world doesn't have that.
Lark kind of takes a breath. He kind of looks over to the meat because he's making sure it's not burning.
Right.
And he looks back just as calm is attainable but fleeting, Shazza. And it can be dangerous. You become complacent. You forget the kind of world we live in. And you allow yourself to be victimized by someone who remembers what this world is like. But as I said, it is attainable. What exactly are you willing to do to obtain that, Shazza?
I was willing to sacrifice everything, but it doesn't matter anymore. I'm where I need to be. Life, it will just continue.
As it does. Do you know what happened to the people that destroyed my home?
I doubt they still walk among us.
That they do not, but
Right, because death is the only equal. Even that, I don't know if that's true.
they died in a landslide, Shazza. I prayed for a very long time, not even knowing who I was talking. A landslide,
What?
of all things.
A blue house. A blue house. Three people. An old man. A fat man with a scar on his cheek. He looks to you and he begins describing these people, the location.
Lark stops and kind of like listens and kind of takes mental notes of that. The scar, you say? Where do you see this house?
I've seen it in my nightmares. I've heard the screams. That can't be, though. That was a long time ago, was it not? No. It's impossible.
Lark kind of gets up, puts a hand on Shazza's shoulder. Calm down.
I am
What is it
calm,
you're-
and he stands. No. This is what I'm talking about. This, he looks at his hands. This is why it's wrong. There's no understanding this. It is all mind games and fuckery. It is all nonsense. It is all spinning out of control. You tell me then. How can I see what you're saying if I wasn't there? How do I know what happened if it was so long ago? How is that a good thing? You say you pray, well, your prayers were answered. As many that have consumed my meat will as well. What if they pray for a landslide to happen here because someone upset them? Or pray for disaster to occur? If all the prayers are answered, there will be no earth. There will be nothing.
Lark kind of looks at Shazza a bit perplexed, because obviously something not normal just happened. We need Dusk. We need her here now.
Dusk?
You're calling me out of character?
No, I'm saying you hear that. Like, you've been listening to this whole thing. You hear Lark say that. Asking what you do in that moment before Shazza reacts.
Okay. So after a few moments, I guess she will cast her brain relay to show that she's there.
Now the brain relay looks like more like ethereal and ghostly than
Mm-hmm.
Dust normally would, so Laura can probably tell that it's not really her.
Right. You know she's nearby.
Yeah. Suppose she was watching.
Shazza scooped all of the meat kind of off into a bowl, but he's just kind of standing, pacing. Like, all of his nightmares have just been nightmares of bad things happening, but now that he's able to put two and two that his nightmares are real, or at least that nightmare was real, that his mind is racing with, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, if all these other things I've seen are also real. Yeah.
Lark is going to stand up, take the bowl of meat, and kind of like set it to the side and everything, and just like kind of gesture for Shazza to sit down.
He does, and he looks to. Yeah, he's not actually looking at you, Dusk. Seems like he's trying to purposely avoid your gaze.
I'll try to read him.
Right.
So, since I'm using my brain relay, I can use the. Actually, he's able to see me because of the brain relay, so casual brain receptivity.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use weird instead of sharp.
Perfect.
Nice.
Okay. Let's see. What is Shazza really feeling?
Yeah, no, he's freaking out. I mean, you had talked with him. He told you of these nightmares, but they were all they couldn't be attributed to anything more than just nightmares. Now that at least one of those nightmares is shown to be real, regardless if it happened 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, that's he's seen a lot of bad things and he is freaking out that all of it's going to start coming true.
Well, but that nightmare that he described basically happened a long time ago. So if it's just things from the past that have already happened, but yeah.
Right, but he doesn't know that. He doesn't know if it's just the past. He just knows that he's seen some pretty crazy things, and even if they did happen in the past, like, yeah, it's just a lot to deal with. When it's just like a child realizing that, you know, Freddy is real. It just puts it into a whole new scope.
Okay. So he's freaking out. What does he intend to do?
Make it stop, and there's a lot of dangerous artifacts in here. You can tell there's a lot of blame being swollen within him. He's feeling like the only way to stop this is to stop himself.
He's planning to kill himself.
He's planning to grab a knife.
Oh boy, you better hurt Lark's plan works out.
What does he wish Dusk would do?
Take control, as he had begged you to do before. Take control and make it go away.
She might be forced to do that.
It's a plan B.
Okay.
So as as he's sitting there, he like looks over to that pile of meat in disgust and just goes to knock it off the counter.
Lark is going to like push him back in the chair because he should sit down for a moment so Lark can do a thing.
Right. But
Is this
Lark
another seize by
happens-
force?
Right. I think if you try to push him back, Lark, you're holding a gun on your holster. If you get close to him, he's going to try to take it.
Would he know that though? Because Lark keeps that hidden in his vestments.
What do you have on the outside of your coat? A knife or anything like that?
The vestments kind of go over the top of his jacket and everything.
Right. Okay.
There's a lot of holes and everything.
Let's say for this...
The pistol would be like kind of like tucked under his arm or something. That would be
Right.
less noticeable, but the knife probably would be more obvious.
Yeah, I think if he sees you coming for you, it might be, maybe he's not grabbing your knife, but he's just grabbing one of the various knives that are in here, probably the one that he was using to cut the meat. So yeah, let's do a seize by force, and
Oh boy.
yeah, it's gonna be...
Is there any way for Dust to help on this?
I would say so.
Physically not, but
But you
you
have
can
your like
speak.
brain ability.
You can speak
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
him.
Because this boy needs to calm down.
but I suppose I can assist on the roll.
Right. I think it could definitely be a help here.
I mean, it's at 0. I'm at 0 HX with Lark.
Right.
What's the worst that could happen?
Who knows?
Okay, so I roll.
Yep. Roll plus 0. See if you can help him on the roll. Okay, so it's still a 1.
boy.
But anything that happens somehow happens to you too.
Okay.
Yeah, let's roll that hard. Oh,
Ooh,
no worries.
Nice.
Perfect. So
Yeah, this boy
yeah,
takes a seat.
choose all 3. So honestly, it sounds... I don't think you're trying to... Are you trying to harm him?
I am not trying to harm him.
Right.
I want to take control of the situation. I
Right.
want to impress, dismay, or frighten, and suffer a little harm. So imagine Lark, as soon as Shazza gets to move, Lark with surprising force kind of like just grabs him like kind of around the collarbone and just shoves him back into the chair. And Lark's just like,
Right.
sit.
Yeah, it's just like you get control of him so fast, he doesn't even have time to like control the knife. It just falls out of his hand and goes clattering across the ground. He just looks up.
It's clear to me that drastic measures are necessary at this point. And he kind of like looks to like the image of Dusk, knowing it's not actually her, but she can hear him. If things go wrong, I need you to try to take control of things. I'm going to try to take whatever is within him and draw it into myself.
He makes eye contact now with you, Dusk. He does not want this. Not him. You.
Wait. So Lark is going to remove his powers or try to implant
Yeah,
commands?
Lark is gonna try to like. What Larissa said made it sound like Shazza had some sort of entity influence within him. Lark does not like that. That is his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition, you want this entity stuff to be cleared of Shazza.
Okay. So wait. So Shazza doesn't want him to take his powers, or
Not
he thinks he's
him.
going.
Not the
doesn't
big
want-
boogeyman that's in the room. No, not him.
He doesn't want Lark
You.
to have it. It's not necessarily that he doesn't want them to be gone.
This is a dangerous power. He does not want to give it to Lark.
Fuck.
And I mean, you just saw again. You were there when the lights went dark. You saw Lark turn into the entity.
Yeah, Lark's going to continue saying, "This boy is a lost cause if we do not do something now."
So,
He's not going
okay.
to wait very long for Dusk to hesitate, so
She's going to to tell Shazza through the brain whispers. So, I mean, she's not present there, so she can talk anyway. Um, Shazza, don't be afraid. Everything will be alright.
I think
Could
his only
do
response
I?
is no, it won't. And sorry, what were
Can
you gonna
I?
say?
No. Can I manipulate him?
I guess. What do you manipulate? What are you trying to do? Get him to trust Lark?
yes,
I
trust
guess.
in Lark.
I mean,
Sure.
I think he trusts Dusk, so she can try to have him trust Lark.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it.
I was just checking to see if I had anything that replaced my
Manipulate.
hot for weird. I
Um,
don't think I do.
yeah, the move I have that does that is charismatic.
Yeah, but that's a Hocus move.
It
I
is
think.
indeed. I think you've taken 2 moves from other players, though, haven't you?
Yeah. Um. I think there is a move, but for the brainer, but I don't think I have it. Well, doesn't matter. I'll just roll hot.
What's your concrete assurance that this is not like what Lark is about to do is the best solution right now?
I mean, I guess Shazza's concern is about the power itself, not the fact that he has it, I think.
It's not just that. You and him have talked about the entity. He attributes all of the bad stuff that is attributed to the entity to Lark. He is he is the boogeyman. He is the big monster. He is scared of this man. And I think
Uh,
he's kind of confused as to why you're trusting him after all of the conversations you've had.
well, there's always the route that, yeah, if he tries anything funny, I'll personally deal with him.
Which again, he specifically doesn't want. He's told you he wants you to never have to use your power. He's just in a really bad place that I think that I think that's it. Is that the concrete assurance is that you'll deal with the situation. While he doesn't want that to happen, he knows that you're the only one that can. Yeah. Oof. Shazza's having a rough day.
Yeah, and
Can I add more insurance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, just because he already knows that that Dusk is the only one that can potentially deal with Lark if he goes out of his way. She reassures him that she doesn't mind using her powers to stop Lark from doing something evil.
Right.
all right.
It's not really. It's a pretty simple excuse, but
And
What
in
other
this
option
brief,
does he have at this point? Is basically it's gonna happen either way.
at this point, this is an alternative to shivving the kid. So,
Right.
all right.
So I guess tell me what Lark is actually trying to do here.
He's gonna open his brain and he wants to see if he can take the. He's never done this before, so he's unsure completely. But he wants whatever is within Shazza to be within him.
So it's almost like you're trying to make your brain into an augury.
Would I potentially have to roll weird to open my brain and then seize by force within the maelstrom?
Let me pull up the book real quick. Yeah, because this is definitely some next level shiz we're doing here.
Yeah, there's a reason Lark wanted Dusk as backup, because this could go really bad.
Right. So, really, something. Yeah. Literally, this is 100%. You're doing an augury move, but how do we do this with just your brain? This is so. What makes Lark think he can do this? I guess is the starting question before we figure out how.
Let's see what Lark's. He probably thinks he can do this because his powers are evolving in rapid manner. He's able to do things he wasn't even able to do a few weeks ago. So he's kind of just rolling the dice on this one. Like the shadows, the healing hands.
Right. So in a way, I'm kind of seeing this like when you see some of those videos of the churches and they're putting their hands on people and just bringing the demons out of them. You know, it's all very religious kind of ceremony. Yeah, I guess, whew. This is going to be, yeah, I think just doing the augury seems to make the most sense. So the further the augury itself, normally it's something, it's like the isolation chamber. But when you get a hit, you can use it to reach through the world psychic maelstrom to something or someone connected to it, isolate and protect a person from the thing from the world psychic maelstrom. You're familiar. It's all the options you have on Chris's sheet. But with an augury, by default, the effect will last only as long as you maintain it, will reach only shallowly into the world psychic maelstrom as it is local to you, and will bleed instability. Then it gives you on a 10 plus 7 to 9. You either choose that it will persist without you actively maintaining it. It reaches deep in the world sacred maelstrom. It reaches broadly, or it's stable. So all the options that you have for Chris. But this is like the first time that you're doing it. So I'm gonna have you act under fire just to begin to open your brainwaves.
All right. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that like critical roll that ends up being the big failure I have today, but for some reason I keep rolling well.
Yep.
Just
So,
tense.
as you kind of grab him and begin to lay hands on him to cure this boy, to right this wrong, and you kind of maybe even you wish you were doing this in front of your followers, like how cool would this be? I showed him I can heal myself. But regardless,
the jokes that would be in the comments if I like bring a young boy into the church.
right. But yeah, as your body's ready, let's see if his is. Go ahead and roll that weird.
All right. Nice.
So, take a look at Chris's sheet there. But I would assume that you are reaching through the maelstrom to someone connected to it. Are you looking to isolate and protect him instead? Is that what you're trying to do? Or are you looking to isolate and... There's a few options here. So, Isolate and protect would be cutting him off. Isolate and contain would probably be taking a fragment yourself.
Yeah. I think I'm going to make a compromise here because I did get an improvement off of this. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to protect him from the maelstrom. Because I think cutting him off is Lark's main priority here.
Right. And then what are the two other options that you're selecting?
It'll persist and it is contained. I'm not sure what effects reaching deep or reaching broadly would have for this.
Right, you would need to
in
know
reality,
a bit more about what the powers are. I would say just to give you an idea, it reaches broadly would nullify recent things that he's done. Reaching deep. Okay, here, I'll give you... And Dusk knows kind of what he is. He's able to, in a way, kind of provide insight, but it seems like grant wishes, but with that, there's blood attached to it. So reaching deep stops the blood. Reaching broadly stops the wishes.
So
Wait,
if I don't take that, it'll persist. Then they might resurface again shortly. And if I don't take that as stable, he could have some sort of side effects from this.
Can this like see what's happening in the maelstrom?
I'm not sure how. What you can probably see is that there's
there's a lot of shadow stuff going.
There's a lot of shadow stuff from Lark. There's a lot. It looks like dark energy. It looks like almost shadow stuff being pulled from Shazza. You can see Shazza is starting to look a bit more pale. You could definitely try to open your brain in this moment, Dusk, and just see what you see. Yeah. Oh yeah, all these successes. So
we are so successful. Back. Oh my god! I'm just scrolling through the log. My lord, good.
You bet you can see the fountain that you had seen before with Shazza's face, and all you see or you hear like the sound of this large whoosh, this movement, and you turn around to move out of the way as there is a massive wrecking ball that swings through. And I guess, Lark, what are the other two that you pick here? Because that'll describe what happens when this wrecking ball connects.
Oh, god damn it. I'm gonna say reach deep.
Right.
And is contained. Because if need be, I think Lark can do this again. And I think the most important thing here is at least the immediate results, because that's going to be what gets Dusk's trust more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's getting paler, so it's not looking good right now.
Right. So what? Well, and Dusk, you don't see it. You're back in Maelstrom world. As this wrecking ball comes through, you see it destroy the fountain. it just completely gets demolished. Sharp rocks and everything just explode. The blood just disappears. The water dissipates. You allow the dust to settle, and you kind of look towards a strange vehicle that you've never seen before to see Lark is the one driving. But you also hear the sound of trickling. You look back over. Yes, the fountain's been destroyed, but that water still flows.
Hmm. From the vehicle.
No, the water from where the fountain was placed. So imagine the pipe or whatever that was underneath it. The fountain itself has been wiped away, destroyed. There's no Shazza face, there's no good side, bad side fountain, anything like that. It's been completely demolished, but the water itself still flows. It's to show that while, again, he has initially cut him off, it's reached deep, it's stopped the blood, it is contained, but it does not persist. It has not. It's not permanently closed off. The tap still is open.
And the move I'm going to take with the improvement I got off of that is Visions of Death, because that seemed really appropriate.
Dusk, as you come out of that memory to look back into the room, Shazza has kind of fallen down to his knees. He's breathing deeply. Lark, as you disconnect, you feel like his weight fall away from you. Lands there. You feel, yeah, that was very powerful.
And he immediately kind of like looks at Shazza like did I break this thing, because that's going to be bad if I broke this thing. So he's like just kind of like very quickly checking on Shazza to make sure he's all right.
He is breathing, but very weak. Do you want to read the person?
He's breathing. He's good.
Right. Dusk, would you like to read Shazza?
Oh yeah. Do I still use the casual brain receptivity?
Yeah, you're still just the figment of yourself in the room.
Level up 2 times again.
Nice. All right. What is your question?
What is he really feeling?
This is a boy that got out of his bed that is very injured and should not have gotten out of his bed too early. Whatever this thing that he had within him had given him the strength to get up and move. This boy needs rest now. The injuries he sustained a few nights ago from Dusk, they were not fully healed. He needs to get back to the Medicaid.
Hey, you got someone standing right there that's good with that sort of stuff. So sometimes.
Okay, so she will just mentally shout at Lark. Do I need to use the Winter's Whistling Winds?
I think you've done it a few times with Lark, haven't you?
Right, and for that, again, it's primarily for people that either you've never spoken to before or are not willing to listen to you. You and Lark.
And plus,
have
Lark
discussed-
has a really strong connection to the Maelstrom, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably accepts the Whispering Winds much better than most people would anyway. So what does Dusk yell at Lark?
Take him to the Medicaid. Now.
Lark will just kind of like reply, I can heal him myself if need be.
Then do it.
All right, this is going to be a healing touch roll.
Sounds good. Oh, baby.
And that was the train.
That was the train. That's Thomas giving you a blessing on that roll.
The success train.
Let's take a look
So
here.
how
Healing hand. Yeah.
he heals a segment.
Yep. So
Yes.
that's
So
enough to
Lark,
get him steady. It's he took yeah, he took 3 harm at that time. So
yeah. So
this
so he's
will
stable, but not great.
right. He still has one segment left, I would say. So he's definitely stable. Like you put your hand on him. What does he feel? Like, is it like dopamine running through his system? Does he feel immense warmth? Does he feel like anesthesia? What's the feeling he gets?
I mean, he's kind of out anyway, so I'm not sure he'd feel like the anesthesia type feeling. If anything, I feel like the way this move has been working, Lark, like on failures, gets really, really worn out, especially. But he hasn't used this in a while. It seemed to work okay here. It's not any additional assaults to his mind, which is fortunate because that wouldn't be a good showing.
Right.
And I think it's more of like a bit of like a calmness followed by a pleasant coolness, something that would be very strange here because typically people spend so much time getting out of the cold, and usually it's the warmth that is more relaxing and pleasant, but just a coolness washes over him and the pain seems to fade.
Awesome. As you kind of step away from him, help him to the chair, begins to kind of open his eyes, and you can tell his again he's kind of breathing a bit lighter. He looks. That hurts. Did it work? Is it gone?
To a degree. I'll need Dust to keep an eye on you. This is not something I've done before, and I'm not entirely sure how effective it was, but at least for the time being, you should be fine.
Thank you.
Lark kind of actually gives a little bit of a smile at that. And just kind of... I know what people think of me, Shazza. Despite the fact I've thrown away my morals a long time ago, I try very hard to be a good man. Remember that. As Lark turns, grabs the meat, and begins to leave.
It's my meat now.
Right.
Oh, I'm thinking that there's someone Lark's gonna meet in the near future that might really enjoy some jerky.
Yeah, you have about 5. We'll just call it Shazza's special meat. As you begin to walk outside, Sam, you're kind of crossing across the courtyard, heading towards the church, and Dusk, of course, you're up on the roof. There's a horn that goes off at the northern gate, kind of draws everyone's attention, and then you start to hear some calls. Dusk, you can probably see because you're up a bit higher than the rest of the people. There's some movement on the far wall. Few of the Legion have pulled bows, and you can see them looking at something up in the air. You follow their gaze. There's something dark. It looks like a cloud, but it's dark black, and it's moving towards the castle. And as whatever that is begins to make its way, that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Oh God.
Hey sis, how's it going? How's your health plan?
The radar went off and no one saw. Well, it was whatever that might be. The big dark cloud thing that's heading this way.
Oh my God. Oh.
And my subordinate is drunk as a fucking skunk.
Right. If only
oh.
you had a bus with, what do you have on it? Machine gun?
I have a machine gun, I have a grenade launcher.
Right. Right. Let's do Hex real quick. I know we haven't quite. I know, Sam, you're so close. You're so close. I'm sorry. We'll get you there. But you did learn. You did learn about Lark a little bit, so I'll give you that.
No, yeah. Don't get too attached to your new friend.
Oh no, trust me, I'll shoot him just as fast as I'll buy him a drink. In fact, I'll probably actually shoot him faster than I'll buy him a drink, because he's fat. He might cost me a bit more than I want to pay.
All right. Who's first? Dusk has the HX first.
Okay.
I feel like it's been a while since we've done this.
It has been a little bit, mainly because there haven't been a huge amount of time to interact with ourselves since the
Yeah, we were
since I
all
got
separate
back.
for quite a while.
Yeah, and I can already tell how this one's gonna go. It's gonna go. It's gonna go Lark and Dusk, probably both ways. And then Sam just towards Lark, just because she's still not even seen Dusk.
Right.
Oh, that is an interaction. That is a collision course that Lark fears greatly.
It'll either be the most powerful weapon he ever had, or it'll be the thing that kills everyone.
It's gonna be next session's gonna be fun. Well, as we wrap up the Hex here, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. Of course, thank you all for playing. We played a little bit longer than normal, but I think we were just tugging these lines right along. Poor Chris. You know what? Someone needs to buy him a drink. Anyways, that's all we have here, though. So thanks to anybody out there that might be watching, and we will see you all next week. Take care.
Ta-ta.